I've already made something of myself I could never expected.
Ruth Langmore went from motel housekeeper to motel owner, and from petty thief to crime lord. She had a wild ride during Ozark's 4 seasons. This is the rise and fall of Ruth Langmore.
No, you're a fucking liar. Tell me why.
We first met Ruth in episode 2 when she stole $3 million worth of cartel cash from Marty. Ruth saw the money as a way to free her family from the cycle of crime and poverty that had plagued them for generations.
We're never, ever going to get another opportunity like this.
But Ruth recognized she could learn a lot from Marty and shifted her strategy for moving up in the world.
I'm working with Martin so I can learn how to launder for us. When I do, I'm gonna take the money and kill him.
Ruth gained Marty's trust by doing his dirty work.
You're asking me to rob a strip club?
I am. Beats washing dishes, huh?
Soon enough, she was manager of that very club. With a steady salary and Marty's confidence, she was climbing the ladder fast.
Don't deny it, we all know who your daddy is.
Ruth's Achilles heel was always her love for her family. The same love that made her want to create a better life for them continually threatened to drag her back down. So when her dad told her to kill Marty,
don't come back here until he's dead.
Ruth came up with a plan.
His dock. Okay, I'm rigging it to light him up.
When her plan failed, Ruth's uncles got aggressive.
We should never let a little bitch do a man's job.
Around the same time, the Bird family embraced Ruth. Not knowing she had just tried to kill Marty, the Birds were a stark contrast to Ruth's dad and uncles.
Call me if you need anything.
Especially with her Uncle Russ trying to betray her to the FBI, then going behind her back with his own plan to kill Marty.
Killing him tomorrow. What?
Ruth had to choose, protect Marty and lose her uncles, or take them out and use her connection with the Birds to build a better life for herself and her cousins.
I couldn't have him kill you.
With her uncles gone, Ruth had a chance to grow personally and professionally. She did her best to look out for her cousins Wyatt and 3, even while hiding the truth that she killed their dad.
Maybe I could call social services and see if they let me be your guardian.
And she parlayed her goodwill with Marty into money and white-collar skills.
Tell me what you want.
A raise.
How much?
25 grand a year.
Okay, done. Anything else?
And I want to learn how to use the books.
But Ruth struggled when her dad got out of prison and wouldn't accept her chosen path.
You're Langmore. This is who you are.
Ruth wanted to make her dad proud, even when he treated her terribly. So she helped them try to rob Marty.
Where the fuck's the money?
I don't know!
At the same time, she didn't want to give up the best job she'd ever had.
I got us a brand new business to launder through.
Great!
When the FBI put more scrutiny on the Birds, Ruth stayed loyal, toughing out torture from the cartel and reassuring Marty after he learned of her previous plot to kill him.
I swear to God, Marty, you can trust me. I swear on my life.
And he did trust her.
I'm gonna need you to take over the whole operation. The second the casino is approved, I'm getting my family out of here.
But as Ruth reached a high point with Marty, her family was falling apart.
Ruth?
Wyatt had become the one steady light in Ruth's life, and she was thrilled when he became the first Langmore to get into college. So Ruth finally had enough with her dad when he threatened Wyatt's future.
The only money I got is for Wyatt's tuition.
Well, then you're gonna give it to me.
No.
You're gonna give it to me. Or I'm gonna walk over there and I'm gonna tell him exactly what happened to his daddy.
Even knowing it would wreck their relationship, Ruth told Wyatt the truth instead, jeopardizing his shot at a good education.
You can hate me, and I know you will, but I need you to know that you're the only thing in this world that I'll ever fucking love.
And Ruth could breathe again when her dad became a casualty of the Birds doing business. When the cartel stopped the Birds from jumping ship and leaving Ruth in charge of their new riverboat casino / floating laundering front, Marty still gave Ruth a big promotion as manager of the Missouri Belle. There, Ruth expanded her role by overseeing a partnership with the Kansas City mob, though her refusal to be intimidated by mobster Frank Jr. landed her in some hot water.
Stupid bitch!
She still came out on top,
You got any idea what my boy has been begging me to let him do to her?
She's untouchable, too.
Then Ruth got lucky with another gambler.
Wendy Bird's brother.
Despite initial hesitation, Ruth fell in love with Ben's kindness and sense of humor.
I think you're pretty spectacular, to be honest. Now eat your burrito.
But Wendy saw their relationship as a threat to Ben's mental health and to the Bird family's safety.
We have a very narrow window here where Ben can get back on his meds and level himself out, and without them, he's dangerous.
Ruth didn't listen. Then Ben saved her life.
Get the fuck out of there.
I don't have time for this.
Something's fucked up. Run, now.
And Frank Jr. wrongly blamed Ruth for the hit that killed his men.
Hey,
Ben spiraled,
I need you to just calm down a little.
and Wendy checked him into a hospital. Ruth couldn't stand to see Ben suffer, so she checked him out. But he got on the cartel's bad side.
You tortured Ruth! Did you kill her dad or did you just order the hit?
At the end of season 3, Ruth said goodbye to Ben, thinking he was headed toward a safe hiding place. Instead, he was killed. And Ruth hit a low point when she learned Wendy gave him up to the cartel.
You fucking murdered him.
I begged you not to get involved with him.
Heartbroken after Ben's death, Ruth severed ties with the Birds and realized her talents were in demand.
I'd like you to come and work with me.
Ruth took Darlene up on an offer to help run her heroin business, since Darlene was dating Wyatt, and Wyatt and Ruth had reconciled.
I should have done better by you.
Ruth bought the motel she used to clean to use as a laundering front, and recruited Marty's son, Jonah, to launder for her. Though Darlene and Ruth's business was in competition with the cartel, they weren't willing to back down.
Okay, but if you don't do this, their response is going to be quick and it's going to be brutal.
Despite initial creative differences, Ruth impressed Darlene.
You've been waiting for a partner with as much guts as you your whole life.
I knew I made the right call bringing you on.
Now one of the most powerful players in the Ozarks, Ruth partnered with Marty as an equal and sold Darlene's heroin to a pharmaceutical company in bed with the Birds and the Navarro cartel, which was just one of several moves that pissed Darlene off.
What the fuck? What the actual fucking fuck, Darlene?
I've been in this long enough to know when I am being blackmailed.
Darlene's erratic behavior made Ruth concerned for Wyatt. She was ready to leave everything behind and start a new life with him.
We're not our daddies. We can get out of this fucking place.
But Wyatt married Darlene, and the cartel made good on its threat.
Ruth, do not hurt this man.
If you want to stop me, you're gonna have to fucking kill me!
Lower than ever and with nothing left to lose and no more faith in the Birds, Ruth went after Wyatt's killer, the second in command for the Navarro cartel. As much as Wyatt's death gutted Ruth and murdering Javi made her vulnerable to retaliation, Ruth gained more power than ever before.
Darlene had a stake in the casino. Your cousin married her. You should know that this woman is in line to become the largest landowner in the Ozarks.
And with your help, the largest stake owner in the Missouri Belle.
Ruth also achieved the impossible and got a fresh start.
You know, that's doable.
What?
Expunging your record?
The first clean Langmore in 5 generations.
She broke ground on her dream home and seized the casino from the Birds in a hostile takeover.
But the controlling interest here is mine, so you need to find another way to launder your money.
When the cartel wasn't happy with Ruth's decision to keep the casino clean, she buried the problem. Everything was looking up for Ruth. Only one problem. Javi's mom was still looking for his killer.
It was Ruth Langmore.
If you warn her, if I even sense someone's following me, I'll kill all of you.
Even in her last moments, Ruth stayed true to herself.
Well, are we gonna fucking do this shit or what?
Relive Ruth's rise and demise with 43 episodes of Ozark only on Netflix.
Why?
because you're Ruth fucking Langmore, that's why.